Welcome back to Reality Court. My name is Anna Quincoces, and I've got back with me today Nate Pelaez. He is back by popular demand because I can't shut the fuck up, apparently. First of all, to my listeners, I hear you. I apologize. I tried to explain it. Um, Nate is in kind of like an interesting position because he runs this account. It's important for him to stay in good standing with the producers, with the girls. And I didn't want anything that either I said or that he said to kind of threaten that. And that is me being a mother, overbearing, over whatever. And so he did speak a lot, by the way. Don't think he didn't. I just cut stuff out in an abundance of caution. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to let him talk.
I'm screwed.
I'm going to let him talk. I mean, unless it's really bad, I'm
Yeah.
going to let him talk and express his opinion. I know that he's young. For the one person said, oh, he's young. Like, I'm sorry. I know a lot of old people that don't have anything competent to say. So for the person who said he's too young and boring, or one comment, by the way, the rest of them were negative about me. I don't know, but if you got into an Ivy League school, please send me your admissions letter because that wasn't very nice.
Oh my
That's all I
gosh.
have to say about that.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
it's good to be
welcome back to
back.
Reality Court.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you again for having me. I'm, gonna bring a more lively show this time. It's like a second season Housewife glow up. I changed the scenery. Last time I think it got cut out, but my parents decided to like have a full-blown conversation right in front of my room. And I texted them to shut up. I accidentally said that to Anna, so I apologize for telling you to shut the hell up. That was
That
not
was so
intended
funny.
for you. And I also have this like tinted sunscreen shit to hide my blemishes. I have a mic now. I have a ring light.
Oh,
So,
the ring light is everything, dude. Listen, if I can't, I wish I could walk around with a ring light.
no.
The one thing I could tell you when I met Ace, I don't know if you know that I had not met Ace in person.
Yeah.
And we met in LA and we met at a restaurant somewhere. And I walk in and he goes, "You look different without your ring light." I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Just saying.
Well,
Meanwhile, he's having a Shirley Temple. Okay. And
well, listen.
he ordered a second one. I'm like, oh, a
Oh,
Temple?
really?
Wow.
Well, Larsa does it. Larsa with her Larsa light, she just walks around like this all the time with her light. So, who says you can't do it? I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I'm gonna start doing it. I'm gonna
Right.
bring this everywhere.
Let me tell you, I think my favorite thing I've heard in a long time, and I'm so sad that I didn't come up with it myself, is what they're calling Larsa. Have you
What,
heard it?
a larcenist or something
No.
else?
Uh, Temu Kardashian. Isn't it the greatest? Well, you can't say. I think it's the greatest thing I've ever heard because she's a wannabe Kardashian, cheap copy of a Kardashian. By the way, I don't read that much positive stuff on Larsa on social media. I don't know if you do,
I
but
don't.
they seem to not really like her very much. So
She's
I
a
don't.
villain. She's definitely the show villain. She doesn't care really about loyalty or like who she's gonna fuck over. She kind of just says whatever she wants, and I guess she's rewarded for that. She's stuck around for 4 years, so I mean, they need somebody like that to kind of just
No,
say shit.
yeah. Um, well, just so you know, I hadn't even noticed it because I'm not great on my DMs, but I got a very nice DM from Gertie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we were just talking about Julia being completely unhinged, and I think that she had heard my episode with
Mm.
Richie, and I felt so vindicated because she like kind of talked about all the times Julia has been unhinged and mentioned about what happened at the Mamacita lunch and mentioned about the chair, and I felt, when I did my second season, when I turned into a monster at the reunion against Leah, um while I was there, everyone was high-fiving me. I remember I went backstage and Elsa, who was sitting there, she goes, oh my God, you're crazy. She's going to come after you. But it's so funny and all this stuff. And, we know that today I wasn't proud of that moment. After the season, the episode aired where they cut out most of the stuff that I said and made it look like it was like an attack, constant, and didn't show anything that she said, all of them forgot that it happened. It's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? No, you didn't. You didn't have any papers. No, you didn't have. Yeah. And so it says something to me about Gertie's integrity as a person, which I've always known, and just like how solid she feels on that show, because she should be. Like, the one person that they can't get rid of on that show is Gertie. For any other reason is that she brings it more than anybody. She's getting more press than anybody. She can be polarizing. Some people love her. Some people don't like her that much. But people who love her adore her. And so I was, I felt, there comes a time when you start thinking, did I make this up?
Yeah.
And it was really nice to have that from her. So.
Yeah, and it was interesting to me to hear about all these things that happened, not only last season, but the season before, and for it to all be on the chopping block. I mean, now I know what it feels since half of my stuff from the last episode of this podcast got cut out. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be coming out at the reunion. I heard something that they're going to try, now that this one has finally made it to air. Now they're going to, like, how they do those flashbacks of like never before
Yeah.
seen. They might be
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God, are
and
they
you.
going to show that?
I think that's what I heard. They're going to try at least to show it,
Oh, but
and
you know
maybe
what they'll do? I'm
what?
sorry. Here I am interrupting you again.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
talk.
Just I think, like, I don't know what you were about to say, but I think they're going to probably remove the context, um,
Yes.
and kind of just like be like, oh, and last time you did this and this, and then just going to show the act and not really what built up to whatever caused that reaction.
Right, but it's directed at Marysol. They have to show that. Plus, we've
Mm,
already talked about it, so people will know that it's true.
right, right.
Yeah. So no,
Yeah.
it felt good. And I'd love to have Gertie on the show. Honestly, I think that she has a lot to say and a lot to contribute. I find that these ladies are being much more open to do podcasts and much more open on social media while the show is airing, which is frowned upon. I don't know. There's a whole other storyline playing out on social media.
I
You
know.
noticed?
I have, yeah. And after the last podcast, I saw on Instagram the thing you were talking about with Lisa saying that we had not been friends for 15 years, only when the show started. And she took it down, and I think they got in trouble for that. I think that
Yeah, I'm sure
because
she got in trouble.
they don't want they don't want the show to be on social media. They don't want, there's a fine line between promoting the show and like making it so that you won't understand the show unless you like have seen their social media, or
Right.
like they don't want it to be
Well, not
too
only that,
complicated.
it kind of leaves them open to people knowing that a lot of shit is made up and a lot of things are manipulated for television, which, by the way, whoever thinks that's not the case needs to grow up, because I know it, and I'm pissed at myself for having been in the situation I was in. But come on, I knew it could have happened. The
Yeah,
likeliness was huge. So,
right.
all right. So, what did you think about the episode in general? And then we'll go through a play by play.
Yeah, so I liked the episode. I feel like it was a little bit of a filler episode, unfortunately. I feel like there wasn't really something that I was really like, oh my gosh, this happens this episode, or I'm looking forward to this specific thing, even though the Lisa and Stephanie thing was right at the tail end, though. But that was,
Yeah.
I think, what was pulling at least me to watch this episode.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. I mean, I didn't think it was really, this wasn't their biggest Emmy-winning blockbuster episode, but
No.
I think it
No.
was good.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I kind of was watching it, and then when it ended, I was like, that's it? Like,
Yeah.
in other words, I wanted more meat, but I was willing to watch longer,
Yeah.
which means
Me
something.
too.
You know, I'm not like, oh, this is such a piece of shit. I'm glad it's over. No, I wanted more.
Yeah.
Um, and okay, so we start with, I believe the first scene is Alexia meeting
Yes.
with her younger, attractive
Yes.
life coach.
Daniel.
I didn't even get his name. I thought it was so funny because I I gotta tell you, I am not a flirtatious person. I I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm just not good at it. She flirts. If I see somebody younger than me, I immediately want to be their mother. It doesn't matter if they're only
Prime
like
example.
prime example, but if you're 40, I still want to be your mother. Like,
Right.
I've never dated somebody younger. I don't like it. I need you to, like, I need to be with a person that can tell me that was alive when Kennedy was assassinated. You know what I'm saying? Like, or when Nixon
Right.
resigned. I don't even know if I was alive. I think I was. But the point is, like, everything, things that happened back then, music, all that stuff to me is important. But she was like, oh, don't tell me. What do you think? It was funny to me. So I just don't think she's going to have any trouble getting back on the horse.
Yeah,
So,
no, not at all.
no,
Not at all. I thought that scene was funny too. It felt like an ad.
it
That
was very
beginning. I
like an
mean,
ad.
she was like, or he or she, I don't know who said it, but he wrote three books, and then all of a sudden it pans to him like with the three books and like the names and everything. And I mean, shit, I want that. I want that promotion for my account. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
if it
they
was
never
that
did
easy
that
to
to
get.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even asked, they at one point wanted me, because there was some fight that went on in my comment section, and they wanted to use it for the show. And I was like, oh my gosh, my life is made. This is like the Super Bowl for me. My account being put on the show that the account is for. Can it maybe be mentioned or something? And they're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Nothing.
Nothing, but that's okay. But no,
Maybe
nothing.
they'll show the Todd thing, when he threatened you
Yeah,
about that. I think that you should, I mean, you should share it.
yeah.
You
Well, now
I
that
mean,
I
you already
have,
talked about it. You've talked
yeah.
about it, so you might as well
Hmm.
share it.
And now I have a
And
lawyer on my side if anyone tries to
that's
come with
right.
me.
No one's listen. I can tell it's not like I'm the biggest badass. I mean, I am the biggest badass, but he won't fuck with me. He won't. He won't. Or you. He just won't. Um.
Well, it's good to have you on
All
my
right.
side then.
So, you know, I I missed a little because I have Ken sitting next to me, talking to me, and the whole time he's like, "Why are they so ridiculous? Why is she wearing that? Why is whatever?"
Uh-huh.
Marysol is like, she on talks like this, and I'm cocky, and like he's so much worse than me because I force him to watch, and
Yeah.
because I really want his opinion on things that are, um, you know, like compared to other things that we watch. How do you see this? And he's like, this show is unwatchable, this whatever. But I think that he's biased because he knows that the people don't like me, that the producers don't like me, and blah blah blah. So what was she talking about as far as narcissism? I didn't understand. I saw that I was so overwhelmed by the scene and the whole flirting with the guy that I couldn't tell what they were meeting about. I know he's a life
Yeah.
coach. What does she need coaching on?
Right. So he pretty much, from what I gathered from his 30-second ad on the show, that he posts quotes and like he posts inspirational quotes like today is tomorrow's yesterday or like shit like that that like you don't really know what it means. And she
She
resonated
thought
with
she
it.
could, so she did.
Right? Yeah,
She believed
exactly.
she could, so she did. Okay.
Exactly. Stuff like that. And I don't really know the correlation yet, but she's is throwing a narcissistic themed party to try, or I guess he is gonna do some exercises to pluck out who the narcissist is of the group, which we see in the coming attractions who it is. And I thought it was funny. I wrote a quote down where Alexia said, "We are going to see who the narcissist is because the narcissist is not going to be able to see that she is the narcissist." I mean,
I,
he needs
listen,
to
guys,
post
I'm
that,
just
honestly.
quiet. I'm just quiet.
I know
Listen,
the roles are reversed.
Lisa has never forgiven me. First of all, I like Lisa. I've told you I like Lisa. I love Jody too. I have defended Jody. I think he's getting such an unnecessarily bad edit. Like, why? To what end? Like, what does anybody gain from this? Why are you trying to ruin somebody's reputation? He's there 100% supporting her, so I don't like that. But uh, Lisa got mad at me for telling her once if she was hooked on phonics.
Oh, yeah?
And so when I saw her at the Mamacita lunch, I went and I said hello to her, whatever. She goes, "You told me once I was hooked on phonics." I'm like, "Lisa, is that the worst thing I have said to you?" You know? And it's like, and your daughter at the time was only Twitter that Beva had said something about her. And then she goes, "And I said that you sucked as a chef, and I mean, as a lawyer, and you can't even cook." And she said it there to me. And I said, "Well, look, I may suck as a lawyer, but I can fucking cook, okay?" Like, we were like, it was such fun banter at that Mamacita lunch that people didn't get to see, people that hadn't
Yeah.
seen each other for so long,
Yeah.
that I feel people would have enjoyed it.
I
But
was so excited to see it. I was so excited to see it. When I saw
everybody was.
the posts, like from when it first happened, when I saw like the photos that you guys were together, I was like, oh my God, this is like
Well,
my
that was the
dreams.
highest rated episode.
I
That was the
know.
highest rated episode ever since the show has come back. And then you don't make an audience get super excited about a scene and then cut it out entirely. It's
Yeah.
fucked up. She walks in, everybody leaves, and then she sits there and stays quiet, and me stay quiet. The whole thing is nuts. But I'm not gonna talk about that anymore because you know what? Ace will have my head. He's like, enough, like enough. You got a bad edit. We know, whatever. Like, please, let's stop talking about this. Okay, so the goddess thing. I never
Yes.
heard. I assumed when I saw it that the goddess is because in Greek mythology there is Narcissus, which is a Greek
Yes.
god. Was that
Hmm.
discussed? It
Um,
was.
yeah, I think it was. It was like it wasn't hit like that, but it was just, oh, I want to host a narcissist themed party, so Greek, like Greek theme. So it was kind of like
So she
touched
didn't
upon.
explain. Okay, well, let me explain for for you guys why this even makes sense. Okay, uh, not all narcissists are Greek. In Greek mythology, there is uh, the son of somebody was named Narcissus, and he once saw his reflection in a pond and thought he was so beautiful that he could not stop looking at himself in the pond. And he was just obsessed with himself. That is the Cliff Notes version. So that's where narcissism comes from, just being, enthralled with yourself. And then it gets a little complicated because there's a lot of self-loathing associated with narcissism. And then there's narcissism that's healthy. There's a healthy level of narcissism. This is the educational portion of the podcast. Most people who are very successful are a little bit narcissistic. It's when you have narcissistic personality disorder that's completely different. That you feel so bad about yourself that then what do you call that? Gaslight people and make people feel like they're messed up and whatever. But so I get the theme. I just wish they had taken the time to explain it better. But maybe we'll get that in the next
Yeah,
episode
maybe.
from the thrice published author. Um, okay, so I think the next episode. I don't know if you took notes. Is it Lisa and Jody? Or the next
Um,
season? Not
oh,
episode. Next
the,
scene.
the next scene. Yeah. Let's see. It was they talked about the hurricane for a little bit, which I honestly liked. I mean, I'm sure it was nothing to you because you
Oh no, I
are
liked it
from there.
too.
But
We were like, when was this?
yeah, I think that these shows should start leaning more into the things that make each city unique because I mean, I'm from Manhattan. The last hurricane we had was Hurricane Sandy when I was like 5. So I'm not used
Right.
to that hurricane, the hurricane, like, I don't know, I liked all that stuff. And I feel
I do
like
too. I do too.
they should lean into the things that make Miami so special and not so much the cliches. I feel like there are a lot of pink, the mojito, flamingos, and every time I make my dad watch, my dad is like, there are not flamingos in Miami. Like there are. I don't even know if that's true or not, but
No,
I
there
think
are, but like not. It's Miami's so much more than what they show, and that's why I think that it would be great to have producers that really understood Miami, or maybe somebody to advise them on let's show this aspect of Miami. But I agree, I agree.
yeah, yeah. So
I
after
like
the
that.
hurricane, they had, yeah, you were right about Lisa and Jody talking. And that was what I wanted to ask you, of how you feel about Jody being painted as a very controlling boyfriend. And also, Lisa talks about the MSA, which is like forcing Lenny to build the house. And I figured, as the resident lawyer, you know more about that than I do. I was wondering what your thoughts are on both of
Yeah.
those.
So an MSA is a marital settlement agreement. So that's basically the contract between them when they got divorced that they need to abide by. And I think I haven't read the terms of their marital settlement agreement because that's usually not filed with the court. That's just an agreement between them. I honestly haven't even looked it up, but I think that basically their marital settlement agreement, because it's about distribution of funds, he said, I have this money allotted for this property that I'm building, and therefore, I think he has to give her something of value, maybe not equal to, but something like that, or whatever income he has left over, he has to somehow share with her. So he is doing that. I find that Jody, knowing more than her about that, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't find him controlling. I think that she welcomes the help. I think she
Yeah.
leans on him. She was treated by Lenny, and I saw this like she was completely a second class citizen. I remember being at a party at Leah's house where we were all there, and everybody was in the ballroom, and he was sitting in this little area quiet by himself. And I have a little bit of social anxiety sometimes. I get I absorbed too much of the energy around me, and I needed to take a break. And so I went and I sat with him, and I always liked him at the time. Very smart guy. And he proceeds to tell me how stupid he thinks his wife is. And that's when I really started to dislike him, because it's such, you know, it's just such a ridiculous thing to say. You married her, you chose to be with her. He let her mother treat her badly, his mother treat her badly. He's a little bit of, God, I need Ace here to whatever. The other day, somebody also said that I was going to get Ace canceled.
I saw that.
Can I tell you something funny about that? Ace guides me when I'm talking, and I said something the other day. It's like, no, because I hate, like, something about transgender people. And I said, and that's what I hate. He goes, she's not saying she hates transgender people. She's saying, like, which of course I don't, but he protects that. So sometimes we'll be on the thing and he'll text me. He's like, stop right now. Pat, cut that out.
Oh my God.
So he's a little dictator. Let's put it that way. Okay. He's a
Ace?
little, huh?
Ace?
No, not
Oh,
Ace.
Lenny.
Lenny. No.
I was like, oh
Uh,
my God. Yeah.
Lenny. And his parents convinced him that he's better than most people. He's an only child, which already makes it, Russian parents, prodigy child. He was Doogie Howser. Okay. He went to medical school like at 16 years old. He's very good at what he does. And so he says that she's stupid. And so imagine being married to somebody that thinks you're stupid. And then now you
Yeah.
have somebody that, rather than criticizing you, is helping you and helping you for the benefit of you and your children. Jody has his own money. We have seen that. Um, so I don't know why I'm really bothered by this shit that Larsa has started, and that it's completely fabricated. I feel that Jody is solid,
Yeah.
and that he
I
is a
mean,
great asset to Lisa.
yeah, when you really think about what it is that they have brought up this season, it's that what he went into the room for AC, which maybe I'm naive, but I really think that
No, you're
he
not.
was talking about air conditioning. I
He was
mean,
talking about air conditioning.
so they have that, okay, and then his eyes, which on a regular basis look, striking like that.
He
So,
has
okay,
beautiful eyes, big eyes.
0 for 2, and then what's the third thing that he's like controlling and that he said? I mean,
Social climber.
social climber. Yeah, I mean, what does he need to social climb? I feel like
Well,
he's
and and who on that show is somebody that you want to climb to? I mean, they're down here. They are down here. There is no getting to Larsa. There is no I yearn to get to that level. That's not a level, which is why they call her Temu Kardashian. She is a wannabe in itself, okay? The only person there that has completely reinvented herself, and I can tell you because I know somebody that went to either high school or college with her. They go, the Gertie who has never spoken to her again, the Gertie you see there is Gertie. She was always that person. She just has a platform now, and she's taking full advantage of it, in spite of the fact that she went through a horrific experience. In fact, that probably propelled her to say, if not now, when? And, sometimes Ace gets frustrated, and I have gotten frustrated too. Let me not be a hypocrite, but I kind of wish I had that
yeah.
thing.
Oh my gosh, me
I'm
too.
just
I
old
mean,
and tired, but I go, wow, I wish I had that. No, I wish I had that.
yeah.
But
So me
everybody else
too.
there, huh?
I know. I
Yeah,
said me
it's
too. I
not
mean, you say you're old and tired. I'm young and insecure, so I need
right. Well,
her
you need to
like
get over that.
I need her delusional confidence. I mean, it's a
And
little
by the
stubborn. I want to talk about that in this episode, that they pinned the two stubborn people together, Alexia and Gertie. That conversation was so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing how she has really used this vehicle to propel herself, like you said. And I think a lot of the people on the show are kind of sitting around, or they think that the show is the main thing. Like that, the show isn't a vehicle to get somewhere. The show is the thing you
it's
get
just
to.
a plat right, which is wrong. They need to understand that the show is there for you. It's an opportunity for you to parlay it into something more. And I don't know why she was at the New York Stock Exchange, but I can't wait to see that. These are the things that I'm interested in. I think it's the first time I've seen somebody since Bethany to take this shit to another level on the
Yeah.
show that we've seen the journey.
Hmm.
Uh, it's gonna piss people off. It's gonna piss people off, and she doesn't care, and she shouldn't care. Um, so yeah, so the Jody thing is like, enough of that. You've he's not a cokehead. He is not a bad person. There is nowhere to social climb. What is he social climbing with, Marcus? Marcus. The only thing Marcus has is that he is biologically the son of Michael Jordan, but he doesn't even have anything to do
Right.
with Michael Jordan, because he did not inherit any of the talent, anything from Michael Jordan. He hasn't. He hasn't.
Yeah.
He
Isn't
is a
he in
cokehead. We've
prison
seen it.
now? Is he in prison now?
Maybe he should be. So I wouldn't hang out with Marcus Jordan if you paid me, or any of those people. So I think she's not going to be around. I think they listen to the audience a lot. The audience is calling for her to be gone. And I think the other one that is really on the chopping block now, after Nicole's statements, is Marysol.
You
I think,
think?
oh yeah. Yeah. If Nicole
Really?
comes back, she won't come back with her there. I haven't talked to her, but she's made it clear I didn't have to talk to her. She has said it on her own podcast. And I'm not going
I
to
don't know
complain
if
about that.
they're gonna choose. I don't know. Do you think they would choose Nicole over Marisol? I mean, I know Nicole
Yes,
brings more
a lot
and
more.
was full time, whatever, but they are, I don't know, they're really like kind to Marisol. They really give
No,
her,
they love Marisol.
yeah, because she's the reason they came back. So I feel like if they let her go, raise,
Kill
she
herself.
wouldn't raise, she would like burn, she would set all of Miami on fire and like be like, if I'm not on the show, there's no show.
Uh, just note to you and to the producers, if they're listening, Marysol has wields zero power in Miami. Zero. She can't burn anything down, you know? There is nothing she can do. There is, she will force herself into scenes anyway, be at parties or show up at parties on other, whatever. But I do think that Andy, in particular, loves Nicole. He left her and he told her, whenever you want to come back. He's the boss. Okay? That is the kind of aspirational we want to see. That is what we want to see. And by the way, to have Nicole and Stephanie together, I would not miss an episode of that. I think it could be like #1 rated. Seriously.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and actually, I don't know if you saw, I'm going to send you a photo, but I actually hung out with Stephanie a couple days ago in New York. She's in New York doing press, and I was with her.
Oh, yeah.
And she was telling me that if Stephanie came, or not Stephanie, sorry, if Nicole came back, they would like be a dynamic duo. And there's
Yes.
no ill feelings there. I don't know, we haven't seen her talk about the fact that she is Anthony's ex yet. I know that that's coming, but I don't know if they're trying to pin them against each other or like set Nicole up for a return. But Stephanie was like very adamant about the fact that she has nothing bad to say about her, and they would be great together. She would be excited to have her on the show.
I think Nicole would be on board with that. Nicole doesn't have any insecurities about Stephanie. She was with Anthony. It wasn't a serious relationship. It was somebody he dated 20 years ago. Before Anthony got with Nicole, he was like a huge player, I mean, he was. Of course, Anthony is very charismatic. Whether you find him attractive or not, I think he's cute, but super charismatic, super successful. One of those people that when you're talking to him, he really hones in on you. I like Anthony a lot. I don't think Nicole is even remotely threatened by Stephanie, and I don't think she needs Stephanie to be gone at all. I think she'd be fine either way. Probably prefer her to stay because she doesn't want that narrative of like she demanded this. She's not insecure like that. But yeah, I think that, and I don't think Andy loves Marysol. It's so funny. I don't know. You've probably been watching forever, but when I watch What Happens Live, I can tell a few things about Andy. He's always stoned, which I love.
Really? I don't notice that.
No. Oh, yeah. He loves pot, by the way. I love it too, but, I wouldn't get... But yeah, he's sitting there, and some days it's like his eyes are... But he functions perfectly on it. And I can tell when he really likes somebody and when he doesn't like somebody so much. And... He doesn't really like Marysol. He doesn't. And for example, Phaedra, he dies for Phaedra. And if anybody says, even if Phaedra's not present, something negative about Phaedra, you could tell he doesn't like it. Shep from Southern Charm, that's his boy. Yesterday or the day before, whatever, this guy from the Valley was on, Jesse. I thought there was a little bit of attraction there. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the other thing I thought was funny, and I'm glad Ace is not here to hear this, is that when he had Kiki on with Larsa, he gave Kiki a game to do, which he thought she would excel at because she's so funny on the show. But this is the thing about people on the show. When they pre-plan their little shtick, or remember, when you're doing those interviews, they give you a chance to say it again 50,000 times. They even suggest what you should say. Well, when she's on the spot and just has to shoot from the hip, she was 0% funny. And
he wasn't?
Like,
I didn't even watch that
then.
episode.
Yeah, watch it. He goes, okay, then. Also, when he laughs at Alexia, she never gets it. She's never in on the joke. I think it was in a reunion where she said, all of America knows or whatever. He goes, all of America, okay. Or like the other day she said, no, I don't whatever. And then he goes, well, you're on the wrong show then, you know? And
Yeah.
like, she thinks he's laughing with her, but he's laughing at her. Point is that he liked Nicole a lot. He hung on her every word. You could tell he respected her. And I think if she comes back, it's bye-bye Marysol. That's what
Really.
I think. But since you have a little bit more intel about this thing, so when you stalked Stephanie in New York,
Okay, Julia.
how did how did you run into her?
Well, I just messaged her makeup artist, her glam team,
Okay,
Rob and Caesar, and I saw that they were posting that they were in New York, and
that you
I said, "Oh my gosh, you're in my city!" And next thing, and then they were very nice. They were like, "Oh my gosh, we should get together, whatever." And I thought it was just gonna be me and Rob and Caesar, because I mean, I wasn't expecting whatever, so I was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be great." And then I show up and I hear her voice, and I was like,
well, you know what?
"Hello," and it was awesome. I met her
That's
husband. I met everyone.
he's so nice, right?
He was so nice. Oh my gosh, he
He's so
looks
nice.
intimidating. I mean, but
Oh,
also
he's not. Yeah.
me, a freshman in college, with anybody who is not my age is intimidating to me. So, but
Well,
he especially was intimidating, and he was so nice. I told him about my goals to do interior design, and he was very receptive to it. And usually, when I talk to anyone's dad, my friend's dad, my dad's friends about my Instagram account, you can tell that they're all like, "You do what? You're
yeah.
you have an Instagram for the housewives?" Like you can tell there's a little bit
But
of
he
like,
gets it. He gets it.
right. He was like, "Oh my gosh, this is great that you're meeting all these people with the account, and you got to use it to like the housewives is your guys' platform. My Instagram account is my networking platform that I'm
Of
using
course
to
it
try to,
is. Of course it
yeah."
is. You're gonna uh, do the interior of the house whenever I find it here, because I have to reconfigure the crap out of everything here. So
My
I'm
first
flying you
client, I'll
down
give you
here. I'm flying you down here, and you're gonna help me. So
friends and family discount.
yes, perfect. Um, so first of all, I don't let's make it clear. I don't think that's stalking. I think that's you doing your job. I think, how do you support your platform if you don't give people stuff that they can't get somewhere else? So
Right.
you met her, and did it change your impression about the Stephanie you've seen on TV?
Um, she was very similar to, I mean, we've only seen her for 2 episodes, but from what I saw, she was still very, I don't want to say bossy because that has a negative connotation, but she was just very like she knew what she wanted. She was very
Yeah.
firm, but she was also very nice. And I feel like people maybe on the show would see her as kind of snobby or like detached from reality, but I was able to have a conversation with her. She was listening to everything I said. It wasn't, I mean, you can tell, I don't want to say the names, but when I did the interviews for some of the housewives at the premiere, I could tell the ones who like, or maybe they're just great actresses, who knows? But I felt with some that I was appreciated, I was listened to with everything, and I felt that way with Stephanie as well, that she was like actually interested to hear. We talked about my college. It wasn't just housewives, housewives, housewives. We talked about my future career that I wanted to do, my education. So I mean, I had
Oh,
such a
that's
good time. And
nice.
yeah. So
Look,
I think she's
I
a lot
hate to
nicer.
judge. Yeah. I hate to judge too quickly, because, again, like, sometimes you will say things over a period of 5 days, and they put it all in one 10-minute thing, and it makes you look bad. And so I'm worried that maybe that's what happened to her. But the truth is, I don't think she cares, because I saw on Instagram they asked her, what do you say to the people? Did you see that? What do you
Yeah,
say to
I
the
posted that.
people? What do you say to the people that think that you talk too much about money? She goes, I don't know. I wish I talked about it more. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. She really doesn't care. And so good for her.
Yeah.
I did, again, there was a scene, and I don't remember at what point this was, but I wrote down about her saying, oh my God, my Birkin is going to get wet. And she's like, first of all, Birkins come with raincoats. I don't know if you know that.
Are they, or do they really?
Yeah. You want me to show you?
Oh shit. Yeah, I
They
went.
come
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna show it to you, but they come with a raincoat that you put over it so they don't get wet. So and they're in every bag. So put the
Oh
raincoat on and
wow.
let's stop talking about the birthday. So then we go to Alexia and Gertie meeting for lunch. Uh,
Yes.
I don't know. They were meeting for what reason? My ADD is bad, so I'm gonna let you lead this part of it.
Yeah, so they were, I guess, just meeting to talk about like because she missed the baby shower because she was in New York with the exchange. So I think they were going there intending to talk about that, like catch her up on what happened there. But it ended up just being Gertie voicing how she feels kind of overlooked in the group and underappreciated, and how she texts the group chat and nobody responds to her. And I was actually noticing a little bit of that, and I wrote that down in the episode from Marysol's wedding party, and then even in this episode right now, Gertie, who admittedly, self-admittedly, she talks a lot. You could tell that the housewives, the other women, kind of just talk over her. They don't really listen to her that much. And there was a time, I don't know if you noticed it, where the two of them were like literally talking at the same time. Like Alexia just did not care, and she
Well,
just like
Alexia
had
doesn't
something to
let you
say.
talk. She doesn't let
Alexia
you talk.
doesn't, or Gertie?
No, Alexia doesn't let you talk. No, Alexia doesn't let you talk because Alexia either it's a couple of things. Either she thinks what she has to say is more important than what you're saying, or she is the entire time she's listening thinking about what she's going to say, um, because she's afraid she's going to forget, or I have the perfect thing to say and I have to whatever. So she doesn't really listen. It's bad. I was on a flight with Alexia once back from New York after something. Maybe it was our first Watch What Happens. Like, no, I think it was a second time. And we got into such a ridiculous argument that it lasted all the hours we were on the flight, and it was bickering and bickering. I'm like, why do I engage like this with her? You know, I don't remember what it was, but it's like, it's bad. And I thought that it was really rich that she told Gertie that Gertie is defensive and Gertie doesn't take accountability. It's hello, pot, you know? Hello, pot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we like
Young
to see,
kettle,
but it
you're
was
black, you know?
it was
Yeah.
funny to see just the two of them were like, and I feel the same way about her conversation with Julia, that I feel like they both came in with the things that they wanted to say. And it reminded me of like those, I don't know how many you had, but they're very fresh in my mind, obviously, because I was in high school a year ago. But those like school debates that you would
Me
have, like
too.
those like mock trials where you're the history
Yeah.
class, you're like debating, and there were a couple times because I mean, obviously you were probably better at it because you went on to be an actual lawyer, but I cannot really debate to save my life, and there were times where I had rehearsed lines, and the person who I was debating, they would say something to throw me off, and I would just like continue saying what I wanted to say because I like couldn't think about what
That's what
they just threw at
that's
me.
what she does.
So
That's what she does.
that's what it reminded me of, just like one person would say something and then the other person would just like completely just not acknowledge that and just like say something completely different. Like I mean, there was even a time, and I know I'm skipping to the Julia
It's okay.
lunch, but Julia said at one point she kind of just like shut it up and she was like, "Do you like me?" or something, and Gertie was like, "I have to get this out." Like she even said it out loud, like, "I can't acknowledge that. I have to get this out." And I thought that was
Yeah.
funny.
And so she has a need to be heard. So
Yeah.
when she said that, remind me, what is it that she had to get out?
At she was talking to Alexia.
Yeah. No, yeah, when she was talking to Julia, since we're just
Oh,
gonna
oh,
skip to that.
yeah. When she was talking to Julia, she was just trying to get out the what how Julia made her feel, and Julia said that they were never friends or something, and Gertie was saying that when she said that, when Julia said we were never friends, that is what prompted Gertie to kind of throw out the facelift, which I guess was a secret. I mean, I didn't know about it. I don't think anybody knew that Julia had gotten a facelift, or maybe I don't know. I don't notice pre or post facelifts things,
Right.
but
I
yeah. No, you go.
no, I just think that first of all, it's somebody's decision to I feel that we as women should share that stuff. To me, it's important because we feel bad about ourselves a lot. You know, you wake up and you see shit hanging, and as you get older, honestly, it doesn't feel good. It really doesn't. And so for me to go and have my facelift and pretend I didn't have it, that was never an option for me. Um, that being said, it wasn't her place to share that, but she, what she said was like, you know, just to kind of put it in one sentence, I fight fire with fire. Basically what she
Right.
said, right?
Yeah.
I respond in the same manner as what is given to me, and that's fair, you know? I
Yeah.
don't think it was right for Kiki to confirm that on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, what did she confirm? You have
He
to fill me
asked,
in.
oh, you have to watch that. Andy asked her if it's true that Julia had had a facelift, and she said, yeah, it wasn't her place. It was.
Andy is shady with the questions. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God, please. He's so shady. But come on, that's his job. I love it. Um, it's not a big deal, by the way.
I don't
It's
think
not a
so
big deal.
either.
Marysol's another one that doesn't say anything, and it's like her facelift looks good. Why doesn't she say it, you know? Alexia will never. She would never. I remember Marysol saying sometimes, oh, I did this and this. She goes, shut up. Why do you have to say that stuff? And it's like, you really think people don't know?
Yeah,
People could tell.
especially season to season. What about Adriana, do you think? Because I remember in a
Oh, no,
prior
Adriana.
episode you said that she has looked so different. And even my parents, when they watched, they're like, "Who is that? Who is that
Right.
woman?"
Uh, the only thing she told me, because when I went with her to the luncheon in the
Hmm.
same car. Well, whatever. She got there 1.5 hours late, so I was in a parking lot in the Grove waiting for her. And and when we drove up to Mr. C's, Alexia and Marisol were already outside, so I had to duck so that they wouldn't see me. Oh my God, it was so funny. And she was telling me, "Oh, you look great. This was before my facelift. You know, you look the same, whatever." And I'm like, "Well, you look different, but I don't. You look amazing. I don't know what you've done." She told me she had some threads and some stuff,
Hmm.
but now this season she looks completely different. I'm sure she's had for sure a facelift, but you know, she looks different, but she looks better. She looks so young. It's
Yeah,
crazy. She's 60 years old.
I
She
know.
looks 20 years younger.
She's my parents' age, and every time I tell them that, I see a little bit of jealousy, especially my mom. I'm like, she's 60 years old. My mom's like, really?
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's just the way her face is and the way that, you know, she's very thin. She's very, you know, she's Brazilian. There's a lot of genetics plays in it. I think she looks great. I think she looks like the younger girls in the show. I really
Yeah.
do.
No, she does. I actually want to talk about Adriana for a second because I feel like she has been given not even the short end of the stick. She doesn't have the stick. Like she's just grasping at like she's like I blink and I miss her, which is so crazy to me because contrasting that with the first three seasons, I mean, she was at the center, mojito. She was the show.
Right.
And I don't know what's happening. I feel like, I mean, I know that certain people on the show are trying to push her out. And I don't know if this is like because of that or if they're listening to these people who want Adriana off, but I feel bad for her. I
I
mean,
do too.
she's in all she had to say this episode was coconuts, coconuts, coconuts. Like
I
that's all
know.
she said.
It's messed up because Adriana has a lot to offer, and again, I think it's Marisol's influence um on production. I think Marisol thinks that she eliminates uh whatever. Like she wanted to eliminate Nicole by having her followed and trying to get some dirt on Anthony. You know, she's just looking for a way in to become a full-time housewife. Um, and I think that Adriana interferes with that for her. I don't think Adriana's a threat to her. Her threat is almost anybody else, but Adriana is she could be good TV if she gave. We've seen her be good TV. They should give her a
Yeah.
chance. You know,
Yeah,
so
we've seen
sad.
her be good TV, but this season, I feel like, and I know that Richie, because I watched last week's episode, I know that Richie said something about how she is even a different personality wise. I mean, she's not really starting that much. She's not doing that much. And I mean, I we know that the Julia stuff comes later, so maybe she like wakes up or something, but I don't know why she has chosen to take the passive route. And even I wrote it down that I'm going to post about it later on my account that when it had all the goddesses, like goddess of tardiness, goddess of something, they put Adriana as the goddess of purity, which I feel like,
Oh,
I
because
mean,
she says she won't sleep with a guy for 4 months. It's the only thing
oh,
I
is
can
that
think it
why?
means. Maybe.
Because I was going to say, I mean, Adriana is a goddess of many things, but I just feel like purity is not one
Purity
of
isn't one of
them.
them. It's the only thing I can think about is that um, she said she makes men wait 4 months, but honestly, after we saw the face sucking with the guy,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
know either. Yep.
Yeah, I hope that she comes with more.
Yeah.
So then we go to the scene of Kiki with her son Shamar. So cute.
Yes,
What a
I
cute
know.
kid.
We're the same
Uh,
age.
and then Larsa shows up. Larsa and her two friends, because it's like those boobs have their own social security number. They have to their own TSA, like frequent flyer numbers. Like that kid that was with, because Shamar was more, but the other one was like he didn't know what to do with himself. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I'm happy that we're seeing more Kiki this season. I
Me too.
think that the fans on my account are like, that's all they talk about is more Kiki, more Kiki, more Kiki.
More Kiki, yeah.
And I'm happy that, I mean, 2 seasons ago, she w wasn't invited to the reunion. She wasn't invited to BravoCon. She wasn't, all of her confessionals got cut. And we didn't know anything about her. We didn't know she had kids. We didn't know about her family. We didn't know literally anything about her. And to think that 3, 4 years later, now she's getting full-time scenes. I mean,
Yeah,
she's getting all that's missing is the little intro card where they do the dance and their name displays, but she is being treated like a full-time housewife.
I think
And so
she'll be
I
a full-time housewife next time,
I
for
thought they
sure.
were going to do that this season. I don't know why they didn't, but next season I hope so. I hope so.
I think next season we're going to see cast changes. I think they're not going to pass on Nicole wanting to come back. So I think we're going to see Kiki as a full-time housewife. I think Marysol. By the way, it's. I said the other day that the cast as it is, they should give Marysol a mojito as it is. If they make no changes, then you owe her that. But I also prefer her to be gone because I don't think she brings as much as Nicole would bring. Nicole is very well rounded. She has the family life, she has the lifestyle, she has the kids, she has the job, she has and she's no dummy. She knows that this is a great platform. She has a skincare line. She has other things that she wants to do. I think that she'll be gone. I think that they would keep Adriana on as a friend. She could be the only friend, and then um, I think it would be better for Alexia. I think it would be better for Alexia if Marisol's gone, because Marisol's the central brain, and Alexia can think for herself, not very well, but she can think for herself. It's better than the stuff that goes through the Marisol filter. So that's what I'm predicting next year. I think if Nicole comes back, and I do not think they're going to pass up that opportunity. I think Marisol will be gone. I think Julia might be gone, and then I think that maybe they'll make Kiki full time, or they'll make Kiki kind of like the Marisol, which is almost full time, but not quite. And then
Right.
I think there'll be a lot more harmony on the show, and we need a little bit of harmony on the show. There's just
Yeah.
this feeling that everybody really hates each other,
Mm-hmm.
and the audience knows. So,
Yeah.
um, talking back about Miami being such a great city, I thought that little putt putt golf thing in that dark room was criminal. You know,
Why?
because we're in Miami. We have
Oh
beautiful
yeah.
golf courses. We have beautiful people. not everybody that watches the show knows Miami. That is the fifth or eighth or ninth or 10th character on the show is the city itself.
Right.
We need to see more of that. So go outdoors. I'm just saying go outdoors. That was just a weird scene.
Yeah.
Then we see the power couple, which Masood and Stephanie, and she referred to themselves as a power couple. We're a power couple. Again, power couples don't call themselves power couples. It's like, Ken, are we a power couple? He goes, I'm working. See?
Oh my God.
It's a disbalance of power. Anyway, I found him very likable. I've met him before. I knew he was likable. I found him likable. I think she's trying too hard to look like a boss bitch, you know? I need to see the units and like another thing. It's like, I don't only sell luxury, I live it. Those apartments weren't luxurious. Not by Miami standards, you know? I mean, when I could see the electrical panel on a wall in the bedroom, that's not luxury. But I thought it was funny, like the whole dog thing. You could tell that he's a pushover, you know? The dog's in one of the furnished models.
Yeah.
Again, this is what kills me about Stephanie, and I like to give her an opportunity to think that maybe it's just all coincidence. But again, Masood loves animals. Whatever. Every time we go to St. Bart's, he buys muffins for the sea turtles. It's like,
yeah.
Again, you had to talk about St. Bart's, and you had to.
It's a little name droppy. It's like name
It's a
droppy,
little
but not
name
with
droppy.
names. It's like city dropping, products
Cities,
dropping.
yes, yeah. Like, God, I wish she would stop that. And maybe in the end, that's what we'll like about her. Or maybe, I've always said that the second you can be parodied by somebody, that makes you iconic, right? Like,
Yeah.
we'll imitate Ramona. We'll never forget Ramona. Amy Phillips does a great Leah Black. This guy, the new guy that won't come on my episode, on my podcast because of those two, he does, you know, I think that makes her easy to parody. You know,
I think so
we'll
too.
get some of that from Ace. So
Yeah.
it's a thing, yeah.
Yeah, I really think that she's a great addition, and I think that I said this last episode that I was on here, but I feel like Miami is or was before this season dealing with a similar situation that New Jersey was dealing with, where the cast was the same for so long, and it just became two sides, and there wasn't much change. You could tell that there were loyalties, and this one's not going to go against this one, and it was just kind of got very set in its ways. And I feel like Stephanie is so great because, I mean, all newbies, that's what they're supposed to do, is they're supposed to shake it up, and they're supposed to kind of cause dynamics in the friend group. But a lot of the newbies are kind of shy in the beginning, or it takes them a second to warm up. But Stephanie, I mean, she doesn't give a shit who anyone is, who's friends with who. She yelled at Alexia the day that they met on the show. Apparently she gets into a little tiff with Marysol later in the season, and we see Lisa in this episode. So I think that she's keeping these women on their toes, which I think is important to keep it fresh.
She came in like a wrecking ball, and I appreciate that. I didn't do that. I allowed people to tell me who I was on the show because I didn't know the game. I had never really watched. We're talking 2011. It's a long time ago. And so they're the experts. They had been on the show a season before. They studied this, whatever, especially Marysol. She's very convincing. And so I thought, even though I was myself at, many times, I also thought, this is my group. I'm here with the Cuban girls. You know what I mean? I'm here with, you're not my friend. When I could have been friends with more people. I realize now, look, I love Karen. I love Leah. I was told no to those people. Um, and and so I like that she doesn't care. She did not come in with any preconceived notion. She has a very strong sense of self, and she may not be anybody's cup of tea, but she is a cup of tea, and she
Yeah.
knows what it is. She knows what's in it. You know, she knows what she is, and you have to admire that. I do. So I hope we see more Masood. I like him. I think he's great. I thought it'll be fun to see the interaction between them. Uh, so we talked about the Gertie and Julia meeting. You know, I don't think there was any resolution there. I don't think Gertie is ready.
Yeah.
You,
I
you
don't
know,
think so either. And I think that that is part of the reason why this episode felt kind of filler to me was because, and I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the scenes, there wasn't a lot of conclusion or closure. It was kind of just like a clip of them talking, and then it was like, okay, that's done. On to whatever's next. It wasn't like, okay, we're building up to like, they make up though at the end. It was just kind of like they're talking, and then like they just say like baby steps, and then we're on to the next thing.
yeah, I think Julia went with the intention of thinking that this could be a one and done, but she could tell by Gertie's, just general body language and hesitance that it was going to have to be baby steps. And I think that it would be useful for these women to kind of understand everybody's experience in life and how that colors their reaction to this kind of aggression, and that's just not going to be forgotten in one step. You know,
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the things that Gertie said to me when she wrote to me was, "Look at, this person has done this and this and this and this, and look, Kenya is being whatever for a
yeah,
lot less." So
yeah,
clearly, we need to start understanding these things. Clearly, there is a disparity into how people are punished for their behavior. And I do think it has a lot to do with the fact that it's a lot to do with Martina. A
you
lot to
think?
do with that it's a huge coup to have Martina on the show. Yeah, they love a big recognizable name. It's a big deal to have her on there. I love when I see her on screen, it tickles me. I love it. Like I like her a lot. I do. I find her I do. I think I could fall in love with Martina. I really do. I like her. And so, yes, I think they give her a little bit of more leeway because of that, and I think they need to look at that. I'm not calling for her being whatever, but maybe downgraded, maybe something. I don't know.
Yeah, just
Uh
fair treatment. Fair treatment. I mean, I think it's interesting the Kenya um analogy or comparison, not analogy. Um, but yeah, because there are so many times that the fans call out that even Andy will sometimes, when it's the Atlanta cast or when it's specific people, they say, we don't promote violence, we don't do anything like that, where Bravo is anti-violence, whatever. And then other times when there's a table being flipped or there's a glass being thrown or something, depending on who it is, that's like replayed 100 times. I mean, the Teresa table flip is like embedded not only in everyone's brains, but also on the Bravo Instagram account. I mean, they post that all the time.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you're right. It needs to be called out how they choose to handle certain situations versus how they handle other ones.
Yeah, I think if you have a rule, then apply it equally no matter who it is, no matter what notoriety, no matter, it needs to be a fair situation. I understand about the table flip. The table flip happened really early on. I don't think anybody was expecting that. It was an iconic moment. And, you know, you make reference to it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, "Oh, you were on Housewives." I said, "Yeah, but I was a boring one. I never flipped a table or pulled a weed or
Yeah.
anything like that, you know? It
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
like the reference. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
I
know, I
think
saw
Steph,
that
yeah.
episode. I saw that table flip episode live. That was the first
You
Housewives
were eight
episode
years
I
old.
ever watched. I was like 4, I think. I was born in 2005, so 2009 when it came out. I was 4. Yeah, and I would always sneak out of like whatever bedroom I was sleeping in. It might have even been my parents' bedroom at the time, but I would always sneak out and like see what my mom was watching on the TV. And I remember that night I happened to walk out. I hid behind the couch and I looked and I saw this like figure on the screen flip shit and like just throw all this stuff. And I was like, honestly, that ever since then, that's what got me to it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
19 times prostitution whore.
imagine a 4-year-old watching that.
You know that my kids got into Housewives before I did. And
Really?
sometimes, yeah, and I remember sometimes them like talking to each other or pretending to be housewives. And Beba going to Kati, she says, close your legs to married men. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, no, that's Nene. I'm like, who the hell's Nene? You know, listen, it's
Yeah.
a part of our pop culture that will, it's an important part of our, you know, I've heard
Mm-hmm.
Obama make reference to the
Mm-hmm.
Real Housewives, not in a positive way, but the fact that he knows they exist is incredible. Um,
Yeah.
so then we're towards the end already at the goddess party. Um, the only thing I really remember about the goddess party is uh, uh, just again Stephanie saying something that if I fly anybody anywhere, I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember what it was in reference to. I'm like, oh God, here she goes
Yeah,
again.
it was Lisa being late. It was Lisa late to
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
bus.
yes,
Yeah,
that's what it
and she
was.
said, "If I'm letting you guys know now, if I fly you anywhere and you're late, you're gonna see the plane take off."
Yeah. So what I thought Stephanie came on too strong against Lisa. I don't know. I'm protecting Lisa's like a little bird to me. Like, and by the way, she can hold her own. She's like, don't you talk to me like that. She's very self assured, but still, again, to me, that was the equivalent of her giving Alexia advice on Todd when no one asked her, no one whatever. And so now she wants to look like this person for which tardiness is unacceptable and your time is
Mm-hmm.
not more valuable than mine. I understand, Lisa, it's bad. Not as bad as Adriana. Adriana made us wait 2 hours for her for the Bahamas trip and showed up with
Yeah.
like eight
Yeah.
suitcases, one suitcase just for sunglasses
Uh-huh.
for
And
two
then she forgot her
days.
passport.
Yes. Um, whatever. It's not like we're, you know, need to file a brief before the Supreme Court closes for the day. You know, we're just sitting there drinking, so it's not a big deal. What did you think? You thought it was appropriate? Too much?
Well, I think, at least from what we've seen of Stephanie, of her kind of trying to portray this boss lady mentality, like her time is very valuable. She's very scheduled, she doesn't even have time to pee. She said that she's like just booked and she has no time to sleep, eat, breathe, anything. So I think that that's kind of a part of this,
It's
you know,
consistent with that.
yeah, it's consistent with that. The fact that, people being late, it's like that messes up her schedule. She doesn't have time. She's too busy, whatever. So I think the thing is, at least it's not like she was going after Lisa because it was Lisa. I think when I interviewed Lisa at the premiere, she said that she really liked Stephanie, but she thinks that Stephanie is just too attached to Larsa and she wasn't given a fair chance, or Stephanie wasn't able to make real connections because she was too stuck up under one of Larsa's boobs, in which
I
whatever
disagree
zip
with
code
that.
which one was in. You do?
I disagree with that because I don't think. I think the one thing I could tell you about Stephanie is, and this is just judgment as a person, just because I've been on this planet so long. I don't think anybody can convince her about anything. I feel like she makes up her own mind about shit. Um,
Stephanie?
yeah,
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 I agree.
yeah. So
I agree. Yeah, and that's what I was saying is that I feel like it would be one thing if she just went after Lisa because Lisa happens to be fighting with Larsa, but you saw before she even met Lisa, she was saying the same thing about Alexia being late, like I can't do lateness. So at least it's equally dispersed. It's not just
yes,
like
yeah, I agree.
selective. Lisa's late. Oh, I'm gonna yell at her. But Larsa's late. I feel like she would yell at Larsa too if she was 2 hours late.
I think so too. I think that she very quickly into the episode told us, gave us like a little, version of this is who I am. These are my idiosyncrasies. This is what bothers me. Yes, I like luxury. Yes, I'm going to name drop shit. I like money. I dream about money, and don't be late because your time isn't more valuable than mine. And I'm sure that she runs a tight ship at her work, whatever it is that she does there. It does seem like she is, at least from what we saw, more connected to all the things that are happening. Masood is kind of just walking around. I think she actually may be the one that runs the show. I don't know. I don't. At first I thought it might be bullshit, but I'm just getting to know her. I want to give her a chance. So I don't know
Yeah,
what
and it's probably hard to
what.
turn off. I mean, she said in the episode that um, she's used to having to deal with a bunch of men and telling them what to do because I guess the field that she's in is male dominated.
Yep.
So I'm sure she's had to force, she has to be bossy, she has to be demanding like that, she has to be, on top of things, and I'm sure it's probably hard to turn off when you're, or maybe that's who she is and she likes it, but having to do that every day for your job to be that type of person, and I'm sure she probably sees this as another job, so I'm sure she's probably putting on the same bossy, brave, demanding face that she puts on when she's, doing her property development.
Yeah. I think she's definitely one of the most fun ones to watch on social media. And so
Hmm.
if we're intrigued by her on social media, it's good to see her, um, you know, doing her thing on the show. And it looks like she's enjoying herself. Like when I see her being interviewed, she's very much smiling and enjoying the process, doesn't seem intimidated at all. And
I
I
like
like
that
that.
too. It seems like she's having fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what can we expect? Do you think? You think we're going to get a great next episode? This one you thought was a little
I think
lackluster.
so. I think they were building up. They tend to do these like filler ones before um, something big. So I think this narcissist party is going to be entertaining. I think it's also funny. I noticed in the coming attractions that, and no, before I get to that, throughout the episode, Alexia was talking about how, from what I understood, this party was going to be to figure out who in the group was a narcissist. And so she knew that that was what the event was about. And then you see in the coming attractions that when the guy announces, like, Lisa had won the lottery, it's like, and the narcissist is, like, drum roll, please. And then they say, Lisa, like, Lisa's the most something. And Lisa storms off. You see Alexia walk out with her, which I think is so funny because Alexia set it up. And now she's walking out,
Yeah.
she's like, that was so unfair, Lisa, my friend. Like, I don't know, but she
Well,
set it
because
up.
that's not who she wanted them to announce. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I think she wanted it to be Stephanie, you know, or somebody else. I honestly don't know how that guy came to that conclusion. That Lisa maybe is a little self absorbed because her capacity to handle all the shit that's happening in her life with the kids and with the whatever and the money. Look, I don't think she has the bandwidth for that stuff, which is why I think Jody is so good for her and has been. Jody doesn't gain anything financially from doing that. Jody doesn't really care to be in the spotlight. This is not like great for him. I think he genuinely loves her and is trying to help her. So, I think that Lisa, but I don't think she's narcissistic. Not at
Yeah.
all. And also
Yeah.
being a name dropper and all that stuff is not all, it's not necessarily narcissism. Narcissism is when there's a lot of that you think everything is about you, that you to the exclusion of everything and everyone else, and God, I would say uh Alexia is more narcissistic. You know, of the people there, Alexia and Larsa, I would say, have the most narcissistic tendencies. But, you know, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know. But I definitely don't see it as being Lisa. I'd like to see his uh, life coachiness behind that decision.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe if he
Oh
gets
my
another
God.
30-second ad in the next episode, maybe we'll see his, you know, why he chose that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you again so much. We definitely are going to have you back. I think we're going to do one day like a live kind of thing
Oh my
to talk,
gosh.
to have our people, our listeners be able to ask questions. And I'd like it not to be just me and Ace. I think people would love, you know, for you to be part of that. I'm not talking about a
Oh my
live
gosh.
show. We're going to do a live show, but Ace, his wife Caitlin, is pregnant and she's due in
Hmm.
September. So we were going to do one this summer, but we're pushing it. But I'm talking about a live, I forgot, uh, um,
Like
Pat, you
like a
can
video
explain to us how
live.
it is. Yeah, something like that. It's like on YouTube or something.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
probably, or
I'm
Instagram you
very
could do.
technically
Yeah.
versed,
Well, that's why
but
you
something
have the
like that.
Gen Z. That's why you have the Gen Z here. I
That's
can
right.
help you out.
Yeah,
And yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, hopefully I spoke more this episode. Hopefully
you
the
did.
commenters have less to talk about. I tried to speak my mind
You did,
and hopefully they'll
but
want
it
me back. Who
wasn't.
knows? Maybe they'll be like,
Yes.
this was a dud. We need to get him
No,
off and then
no, you can't be like Ace. You know that I have to talk. The other day, Ace goes. I said I need you to come back, not because I don't like the people that have co-hosted with me. It's just I have to work harder without Ace. Like he kind of runs the show. I get the things, but he's a great interviewer. I'm not knocking myself. I'm just saying I like it. I also like that I can be really raunchy with him, and I feel like I have to be more put together and just. I've spent my whole life being so like uptight and tightly wound that Ace just makes me relax, and I love that about him. But he goes, people are saying they loved you and Richie and whatever, and it's like, stop. Like he never listens to the good comments. He only wants to
yeah.
focus on negative stuff. So you're not going to do that because
Yeah.
I don't need
No.
another patient.
Yeah.
You're great. You are wise beyond your years. That's a, wise beyond your years. You have a lot of great insight, and I think your analysis of things are spot on. So, guys, no more criticism, you know? I did my best. I did my best. All right. Make sure to please give us 5 stars, to um, kind of tell your friends about the about our podcast. We are growing. People are really enjoying it. It makes me so happy. I'm putting heart and soul into this. I really am. It's something I enjoy so much. And I'm having so much fun doing it. I have opportunities to talk to so many different people. And yeah, we'll keep chugging along. And you should consider one day doing a podcast because you're actually a natural. Now you have a microphone.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, I think the first episode I was a little scared, but yeah, I was thinking about that. I might do that.
All right. Well, nice to see you again. We'll talk soon. Big
Yes.
kiss, and we'll see you next time.